Now 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. It is very easy to remember 42nd Amendment. 4 plus 2, 6, 76, or we can say 6 plus 1, 7, 7, 1976. This amendment is also famous because it is like mini constitution. Why? A big changes in the constitution preamble by the adding the word of socialist, secular and integrity in the preamble. This amendment made it mandatory for the President to work with the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. And this amendment also added a vital part 4A in the Constitution as fundamental duties. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, again it's easy, 4 plus 4, 8, 1978. And in this 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, the right to property here no more remain a fundamental rights in part 3 of the constitution, because earlier it was there. Now the right to property is only a legal and constitutional rights under article 300 capital A. In article 352 there are three grounds on which a national emergency can be imposed in India, and one of the ground like internal disturbance was substituted by the words armed rebellion. This amendment made it obligatory for the President to follow the advice tendered by the Council of Ministers after sending it for reconsideration. Now, proclamation of emergency came under the ambit and judicial review of the court. Now, 58th Constitutional Amendment Act 1987. 58, you can just carry from second digit of 58 8 and put it here 1950 1987. So 8 is here, 58. And by this amendment the people of India were given an authoritative text of the constitution in the Hindi version. 61st Constitutional Amendment Act 1988 regarding for the reduce the voting age from 21 to 18 year. Now 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. See, it is easy to remember 73rd, 74th, 77th Constitutional Amendment because it is the year of 90's year. See the 92, 92, 95. Okay. This 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992, it's added part 11 in the constitution to deal with the Panchayat Raj system in India. And 74 part 9A in the constitution for municipality. Whereas 77 Constitutional Amendment Act 1995, its clause 4A in article 16 of the constitution for the promotion of scheduled castes and scheduled tribe in government jobs. So when there is 70s range like 73, 74, 75, remember that it is a 90s range, 90. 81st Constitutional Amendment Act 2000. Here Article 16 Clause 4 capital B is added in the constitution by ending the 50% of ceiling gap for reservation of SC and STs. Through this amendment, Parliament made a forward carry rule of backlog vacancies for SC and ST. 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. See, here somewhere trick easily applicable, somewhere not. So you don't think every time trick will be applicable. So here is there is no trick. Like 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002, this amendment is completely broader chain in education purpose, and which added Article 21A in the Constitution, which says that the right to education for children of age group 6 to 14 year, and now right to education has become a fundamental right. 92nd 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act 2003. This amendment, I put it here regarding the question in the very first one, that like which amendment, so vice versa. There was the answer of 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act 2003, whereas here the question like 92nd Amendment Act 2003. So you should be remember very easily. Yes, it is 8th schedule of the constitution, and which is added four more languages: Bodo, Dogri, Santhali and Maithili. 99th Constitutional Amendment Act 2014. That time there was so where debates issues were going about the National Judicial Appointment Commission for the appointment of judges, but the commissions was struck down as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in 2015 and resumed with the collegium system to appoint judges. 101 Constitutional Amendment Act 2017. This amendment brought goods and services tax as a comprehensive and multi-stage tax, GST, which abolished many central and state taxes and brought uniformity to the tax system. It applied to the whole of India. Here I specifically put here 101 Constitutional Amendment Act 2016 because the acts and the articles of Article 246, whereas amendment is Article 246A. It is easy to distinction between these two articles. You know, here you have to study three articles. One is Article 246, 246 capital A, and Article 254. This is all regarding to goods and services taxes. I put it here blue highlighted because Parliament to makes law for Union territories irrespective that such matter is covered under state list, which is Article 246. Whereas here Article 246A subclause 2 mention Parliament has exclusive power to make law regarding the GST on interstate supply of goods and services. Okay. So instead of going in so much in this particular article, you can please read this article with Article 254. I cannot put here Article 254 because it is just focus for the amendment issues. Now, EWS quota. 103rd Constitutional Amendment Act 2019. This amendment add clause 6 in Article 15 and 16 respectively to provide 10% reservation to the economically weaker section. In short, EWS who are not already a reserve category under SC, ST and socially and economically backward classes. The reservation is made for access to government jobs and admission. So 2019 again it is very easy to hear, and the 103rd 103 third constitutional amendment 10 it's 10, 9 plus 1 2019, 9 plus 1 is the 10, so 103rd 103rd constitutional amendment you can recollect or you can remember this way. 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2020. This is the amendment which has extended the period of reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Now, these are some of the cases where amendment specifically for the topic of amendment is concerned, like A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras, Champakam Dorai Rajan, Shankari Prasad, Golaknath case, Keshwananda Bharati, Indira Gandhi, Maneka Gandhi case, Minerva Wills, and of course the last one is for the Navjot Singh. These are some few cases which I put here for the these are landmark judgment. It's not only landmark judgment but is also related to the amendment issues. So you please go through for these case laws. This case is a very popular in India as a judicial review, Marbury versus Medicine. I put it here only the fact that this case is 1803, and of course this is a Supreme Court cases where Marbury was commissioned by John Adam as a Justice of the Peace. Medicine was Jefferson, which Secretary of State. So court ruled in favor of Marbury. And important thing is the first time a congressional act was found unconditional the case of established judicial review because this is a judicial review case. Second, Dred Scott versus Stanford. This is 1857 case. Again, I put it here some facts regarding 1832 to 1843. He resided in Illinois, a free state, and in an area of the Louisiana Territory where slavery was forbidden by the Morrissey Compromises of 1820. And after returning to Missouri, Scott sued unsuccessfully in the Missouri courts for his freedom. So, claiming that his residence in free territory made him a free man, Scott then brought a new suit in federal court. So, Scott's master maintained that no pure blooded Negro of African descent and this descendant of slaves could be a citizen in the sense of Article 3 of the Constitution. Brown versus Board of Education. Maps versus Halls, Gilluson versus Gendwitz, Merida versus Arizona, Rio versus Watts, and these are some impacts of history. These are just a few of the famous Supreme Court cases that molded the United States into what it is today. Because in India also, when the question just came before us, or any time the question like judicial review, immediately we have to know that yes, it is started from the Marbury versus Medicine case. So this is these three Marbury versus Medicine, then Dred Scott versus Stanford, and Brown versus Board of Education. These three landmark cases in India. Now for the important points regarding for this. Please remember that the date they came into force and passed the law because the two different dates is there, came into force and applicable in the law. Two different dates, remember first. Second, why this the amendments has taken place. Like what are the reasons? Like Lokpal bill, before that Lokpal bill, the Anna Hazare and so on. So you should be know the reasons. What are the reasons? Then as of August 2021, there has been 105th amendment of the Constitution of India since it was the first enacted in 1950. There are a total of 448 articles in the Indian Constitution. Originally, the Indian Constitution contained a preamble and only 395 articles and 8 schedule. Now presently it consists of the preamble 448 articles and 12 schedules. Please compare these points with the earlier slides number 2 where you will get answer very clearful. Now I put it here for the part wise, subject wise and article wise, so it will be very easy to remember. If possible, try to screenshot and remember this, take save in your phone or whatever, it will be comfortable. Then you can go whenever you go for the examination, you can please go through this part, subjects and articles. Part 1 like the union and its territory, part 2 citizenship, part 3 fundamental rights, part 4 directive principles, part 4a, fundamental duties, and so on. I put it here all part till 12. Last one is like 395 put it here, but here already in Article 448, including all amendments and so on. So please go through these parts, subjects, and so on. Sometime the question also asks on schedule. Who among the following does not find mention in the second schedule of the Indian Constitution? So, if the does not find, question sometime asks for the negative way, does not find mention in the second schedule of the Indian Constitution. So, here answer may be Prime Minister, answer may be Chief Ministers of States, answer may be Attorney General, or answer may be Advocate General, or answer may be all of these, because sometimes they can mention all of these, none of these. This type of question may be asked. So, does not find. Who does not find? Prime Minister not find, Chief Minister of State, Attorney General, Advocate General. All these four are not found in the second schedule of the Constitution. Now, which schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with anti-defection? It's the 10th schedule. It's the 10th schedule in the Indian Constitution. State which find mention in Schedule 6 of Indian Constitution. In which states find mention in 6th schedule, particularly for the 6th, because it's include Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. So these states mentioned in Schedule 6 of the Indian Constitution. What is first schedule of Indian Constitution? So first schedule like Article 1 and Article 4. This is our first schedule of Indian Constitution, and so on. So these are some questions which will be very easy for, and of course it's helpful to all of you. So thank you so much to all of you for watching this video. Please, if you like, subscribe my video, and if you want to the notes of the hard copy, please below the description box I made it here, put it here my Twitter link, Instagram link. You please follow over there. You can get it the all material which is I going to explain here. Thank you so much for watching this. Bye.